We're here while you're in there, yeah?
Brilliant. We're ignorant of
No, we're
everything.
doing an interview.
Don't you worry. You've been great to say you'll do the interview.
Do we get any money for it?
Knowledge is power.
More importantly,
and with knowledge you can make
knowledge
money.
is power. More importantly, do you gain anything from it?
I feel great knowing that I'm helping people expose the lies then to their friends and family, because only the truth can set us free from whatever manipulation the authorities have got us under.
But how does that,
Well, right behind you can see a chemtrail, quite a few in the sky, right?
Yeah.
Guess who's behind the chemtrails?
The government.
Funny enough, you're right, because the Spanish government put on their website that it's. I'll just show the camera first what we're talking about. It's modification of the weather, and guess who's behind it? NASA.
All dumping chems when they
Yeah, and there's 50 countries, I know it's in Spanish, but there's 50 countries around the world that are using this technology, says the Spanish government.
So is this
weather modification?
This is
they
factual
say.
now.
Yeah, this is the Spanish government, and they're saying it's weather modification. Well, if it is weather modification, I don't think we should be playing with nature.
So
And how can we trust it's weather modification?
basically.
They could be dumbing us down, they could be giving us little sicknesses so that we have to keep taking the meds. Point is, it's NASA, right? I don't trust NASA, and I'll tell you why. Not many people do nowadays, because when Neil Armstrong supposedly walked on the moon...
Well, he didn't, did it? He wasn't the first
So
man.
what are these?
Well,
what are these?
exactly, because who took the video?
What do these
That's
mean?
right, yeah.
Good lad, good lad.
What's all these? Yeah,
This is what they're explaining, it's condensation. But condensation on a cold day, when I blow it out my mouth, it disappears.
right.
So up there where there's loads of wind,
makes up
why
for
does
itself.
it last for hours?
Yeah,
I can see all these bullshit chemical clouds everywhere, they ain't natural. Now back to NASA. There's Neil Armstrong, you've got the horizon behind him, and you can see the horizon and the reflection of his... How small is it? It's a studio, and guess what? There's no stars. When they were on the moon, the Earth's small. When they're behind
And
the
the
moon, the Earth's
absence of
big.
gravity was all a myth as well.
Yeah, because you could see the flag waving. Good lad, good lad. And where's the stars? There's never
but
any stars.
The thing is, don't get me wrong, I'm on board with you with all this, but what can we do?
We can spread the truth. By talking to each other, we become a majority. When we're a majority instead of a minority, the politicians have to take notice.
But do they though?
Well, guess what? We can get rid of the politicians.
You've got to admit, these days, there is more people with their eyes open than there ever has been in the past.
That's why we're getting censored on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. So I'm bringing it to the streets because I've seen other people doing the same, and it's inspired me that we don't need politicians, because since we've had mobile phones, and let me just tell you this, how long has Facebook been out? About 20 years? 20 years?
Exactly.
Right, now Facebook, you can vote yes, no, or put your own comment, can't you? So why not have the same thing for politics? Why do we have politicians?
I've always thought that
because we're all
they say
scared.
the way technology has swooped us, it must be from another planet, and I agree with that more than I do anything else. Because the way technology has advanced in the last 50 years for us is unexplainable. Let's be real.
Exactly, good point.
So we're not daft to that, but how do we make it better?
But we keep spreading the truth, because knowledge is power and the truth can set us free.
Without
Cliches.
doubt, but with me, as a working class person, I can't make a difference.
Of course you can.
I have to make sure my family survives, and that's all I can do.
And you can, and so do I. But here's the point. I'm here spreading a bit, exposing some lies to some good lads, and you can then go and expose it to your mates and family, and they can spread it, and we can go viral, like
You're
a virus.
a very rare specimen, though. You've got to admit that.
Thank you. What was your name, sorry?
Michael.
Howard. Nice to meet you.
Darren.
All the
Darren, nice to meet
scientists,
you.
all the physicists in the world know this is truth, but do not do anything about it because it doesn't benefit them.
Because they're getting paid.
Which we know, but how do I change that as a working class person?
We run our mouth and we spread the truth, and eventually the truth will win. Nice. Right. So, you've seen the Red Bull skydive, yeah?
I've seen it all before,
right,
yeah.
Next time you watch it, when he opens the door, because this picture I'm showing you, I could be faking it, but you watch it, when he opens the door, the horizon's not only horizontally level, but it's also eye level.
I've always thought that with
level.
space jump.
Yeah, so why is he seeing it eye level? Because when we go up in an aeroplane or a hot air balloon, the horizon should go down, but it doesn't. Why do we see loads of roundness here, but no water if Earth's 70% water? It's obviously
If you're out the atmosphere, it must change distance on the
and
hemisphere,
why is there
surely.
no water in that image? It's probably a fisheye lens like the GoPro. You got me? So why would they fake curvature?
But that's what I can't understand. What do they benefit from doing this to us?
I'm glad you asked. NASA take $52 million a day from tax dollars in America. Add that to the European Space Agency, the Indian, the
So
Chinese, the
basically,
Russian.
when it comes
We're
down
talking
to
over
it-
$100 million a day that could be invested in better
So
things
it
to
comes
help
down
people
to
that
exactly
need
the
it.
same principle as the cancer profit, basically.
Yes.
Cancer is a billion industry, and they will not give out the cure because they make money from it.
Or they won't tell us how to prevent it.
Yeah. Which is... You
Okay.
dickhead.
Sorry, his mates are taking the mic.
Yeah,
well,
sorry.
here's an experiment, okay? This isn't anything theoretical. I ain't got time for that shit.
This is physics.
This is measurable and repeatable, okay?
Yeah.
You get a thermometer for food or for liquid,
Yeah.
and you measure. Sorry, you check the temperature of water. You get 2 glasses of water the same temperature. You leave one in the shade outside in the garden, and you put one under the moonlight. And within 20 minutes, the one under the moonlight's gone 2 or 3 degrees colder. Why would that be if it was just a rock reflecting sunlight? It can't be a rock reflecting sunlight because it'd make it warmer or it'd keep it the same. If it chills, it shows
But
that it's a different
I get
polarity
that,
of
but
light.
We all know that we're cooler at night. We all know that.
No, as I say, they leave them both out at night time. The one in the shade stays the same temperature. The one under the moonlight gets
cooler.
chilled, which tells us the moonlight's the opposite of sunlight.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, here's another one for you. If you look up in the
Yeah,
sky...
but is this fact?
Oh, when I did it, that's why I'm telling people to copy the results. When you look at the moon, like now, or even better tomorrow when it's in the west, sorry, when it's coming up in the east, you'll see half a moon in the east, and you'll see the sun going down in the west, and you'll only see half a moon, like this image I've made explains beautifully. Now, why would we only see half a moon if the sun's directly across from it? We should see a full moon. And the moon shouldn't chill water. So we're obviously being lied to about what
But
the
I
moon
thought
is.
that was all, obviously the solar eclipse and stuff is all dependent on the time of year and how the world's rotating. I thought that was all, I didn't think that had anything to do with obviously melting the lunar ice caps and such.
Well, we believe what we're told, but we don't put anything into practice. Yet science isn't supposed to be religion, where you have faith in what you're told. Science is supposed to be where you go out and repeat
As far
it and
as I'm
test it yourself.
concerned,
Yeah.
religion is nonsense for that reason, because you do what you're told.
Well, this
Unless
is what we're
something's
doing
put
with
in front of me with
science.
facts.
We're not putting the science to practice. We're believing what we're told. That's not science. That's religion. You got it, didn't you? Right. So here's my other point. We're told that the Earth's rotating at the equator 1,000 miles an hour, and that it's going round the sun, orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, and that the sun is going around the Milky Way at 500,000 miles an hour.
So what-
How do we get to the moon and back if we don't have a rocket that even goes 66,000 miles an hour? Never mind 500,000
We
miles
can
an
all
hour.
call bullshit on the moon experiment, though, can't we? Expedition to the moon, we can all say is bullshit.
Thank you.
But what I want to
Thank
say is that why, after, because bearing in mind, global warming has not become an issue until the last 50 years, say, and it's become a massive issue. Why now is it destroying our world when it hasn't? That's what I want to know. Why are we advancing so far as a race now in the last 60, 70 years to what we have done prior? Bearing in mind we used to use tools which were stones for hundreds of years without a doubt, and now all of a sudden there's technology, there's
We're being inspired by something, whether it's...
The problem is, we don't want to believe what they tell us, but we don't have anything else to believe. That is the big problem.
Right, well, I'd say we're better off admitting we don't know and having our own imagination, like the children, sponges that soak up everything and imagine things, rather than being dumbed down to believe shit that we can't test for ourselves.
I've always been an agnostic, and unless someone could prove to me with my own eyes or sensors that something is real, I do not believe it. And that's always been the case. And that's why I've got a lot of friends who are heavily involved in physics. When they explain to me basically their aspect of things, I know what the government is telling me doesn't add up. But I'm not smart enough or wise enough on this topic to know the difference.
Yes, you are. You can trust your senses, but they tell you at 4 years old not to. They tell you to believe in a theory called gravity. They tell you to believe in this ball and this curve. Yet if you look right now, over there, if you don't mind, you can, sadly my camera can't see it very good, but you can see the buildings of Alicante, San Juan, from top to bottom. Now, just to tell you the mathematically, over 20 miles, there's supposed to be 20...
So what, are you saying that physics is nonsense? Gravity is nonsense?
Well, we can prove the law of density, but the theory... let me just tell you, we can prove density by going in the salt water, we float, go in fresh water, we sink. We can prove density when rain drops because it's condensed in the cloud, but steam defies the law of gravity because it goes up, doesn't it, like helium and smoke.
We can also prove that any planet, star or anything over a certain mass has its own gravitational pull.
We can't prove anything about planets or stars because we haven't been. We're just taking secondary information from an industrial source that's spraying us with chemtrails and making us ill.
I'm saying is that I'm just
making global warming.
I'm taking their word.
Oh no, but I'm not asking you to take my word. I'm just going to share a few bits of evidence for you to observe yourself and then make your mind up. So as you've just seen the buildings over there, that's 20 miles away. Now mathematics don't lie, right? Mathematics say that on 20 miles, which is 33 kilometres, there's supposed to be 80 metres drop. There can't be 80 metres drop because I can see buildings from top to bottom, and at night time I can see the street lights. Now the street lights aren't that much above water level. They're definitely, none of them, some of them buildings are 30-40 metres tall. The street lights are about 12 metres tall. How can I see street lights at night if there's 80 metres drop?
The thing is,
there isn't 80
you're
metres drop.
delving into line of sight opposed to like science there.
Science
Because the human eye can see what's the word? Without anything in front of it, the human eye can see up to a mile plus. Can't. That's fact. So I don't see how that proves that what they're saying to me is bullshit because I can see buildings from across the sea.
Not just your eyes, any camera or telescope you want will show you them buildings from top to bottom. Now if there's a curve of 70, 80 metres, the buildings that are under 70 metres wouldn't be seen because they'd be lower than what
so
you're
what
seeing.
Are you saying? Are you saying the Earth's flat?
I don't know what the Earth is, I'm just exposing what it isn't. Do you get me? It could be a fourth dimensional shape. It could be a fourth dimensional shape. And we as three-dimensional beings might not know. But one thing we can prove is that it doesn't drop 70 metres when we look at Alicante from here. When we look at the Isle of Man from Blackpool, which is over 100 kilometres, we can see it, which proves mathematically it should be not visible.
I understand.
So we are seeing that water is always level. Now if Earth is 70% covered in water that's level, how can it be a ball? So I don't care if it's flat or a fourth dimensional shape that we can't see. I just care that there's over $100 million a day going to waste, bullshitting us, dumbing us down, making us feel insecure because we think we're lost in space when we're probably not, because maths don't lie, but industrial sources that make a lot of money do.
The biggest question to you, to me and your documentary is that if they're basically what you've just given me is facts that you guys have obviously worked out yourselves.
Yeah. That I want you to
How
look
does
into.
it benefit you, me believing that?
Not believing, knowing that I'm being lied to means that I'm not insecure.
I know I'm being bullshitted every single day.
Good.
But I'm also not ignorant to the fact that there's nothing I can do about that. I'm a working class man.
And so am I, but here I am.
My only course of action during the day is to make sure my family survive the day. Same as you.
But you can tell your workmates.
Don't get me wrong. I know we've shoveled shit every single day. That is might not be a proven fact, but it benefits them, so it's clearly a fact. But what I want to know is if I agree with you and say that fair enough, the world might be flat because of the facts you've just given me.
Definitely not what they tell us.
I don't understand how that's going to benefit either of us.
Right. There's NASA, the people that are showing us a ball in space without stars behind it. Not only are they taking lots of money from us, but they're dumbing us down and making us insecure. So we think we need them, we think we need the governments, yet the governments are the ones that did the 9/11 bombing. Because years before 9/11, did you know it was in The Simpsons, Die Hard, Sesame Street? So they've been programming us to believe in their bullshit stories. They've been sending us to World War I, World War II, millions of people get sent to death while they play chess with us like pawns. So
It's
I'm
always
saying,
been-
if we stop believing the government's lies, we stop going to war for them, we stop giving them our money,
I've
and we
said-
stop letting them dumb down our children at 4 or 5 years old. You've got children, you said. Do
Yeah,
you want your
but
children being lied to and being told
That's
to be insecure, that
irrespective,
they're
I
lost
think,
in
because
space?
I know for a fact my children will not go to war over oil for rich men unless they choose to do so.
But I'm
They will not
talking
be
in
ignorant.
general. I'm talking in general.
I
If your
completely agree with
children,
you. I've
if your-
fought ever since the Revolutionary Wars. Every war that's ever been fought is rich men and old men talking and young men dying. It always has been.
Good lad.
But
So
there's
if
no
your
benefit
kids-
to
so
knowing any
if-
different.
Yes, it is, because if your kids learn from you how to do the science and prove that we're being lied to, they can tell their friends, and your kids' friends won't go to war either, and no one will go to war. So it's not just about me and you and your kids, it's about everyone spreading the truth. Oh, sorry, I've taken you off the camera. It's about everyone spreading the truth, realising, there's another one, look lads, chemtrails, right? They're
I get
everywhere, we're getting
chemtrails, I get
poisoned.
that.
Your kids, my kids, everyone's kids are going to get poisoned. The air is going to be toxic as fuck if we don't start saying,
But
hey,
I also-
we can't trust them, we
got
can't
to-
trust the government, we can't trust NASA, we've got to trust our senses. We're told not to at 4 or 5 years old. We have to trust our senses, because guess what, guys? Not only are they saying that they can get back to Earth when we're following the sun at 500,000 miles an hour.
Technically not enough projectile to get back to Earth.
Of course. But not only that, the stars haven't changed in over 10,000
I've looked
years.
into all of this, but
You know what I
I still
mean?
come back to the same question, mate. Is that I cannot. At the end of the day, if my children, because let's be real, invasion is a very real threat in any country you live in. So how can I convince my children not to go to war and fight a foreign threat because of chemtrails and because of this and because of that? We fight because of oil and because of money and because of power.
Right, because
physics don't come into it.
Because we're told
we
to
kill each other.
I'll answer you. We're told that there's been a big bang and that everything's material. It's all bullshit.
There was always
so if
gonna
we
be a
don't believe
start.
everything's material, then we won't be that bothered about money. We'll be more bothered about the consequences of our actions, and we'll look after the place and each other better, right? Now, I'm nearly finished. Stars come into focus with a good camera, and they show that they make different geometric symbols like McDonald's and that. So my point is, they can't be that far away, and we can't be going round the Milky Way, because we still see the same 12 star signs like Aquarius carrying water. He hasn't dropped any. Scorpio's still got its claws.
Same zodiacs everywhere.
Thank you. Now the Egyptians and the Aztecs and the Mayans left us historical proof carved in stone of the 12 constellations. They haven't changed, so this cannot be true. Now, knowing this, we can tell our kids can tell their friends, and we can tell our family, and our family can tell their friends, and before you know it, they get all the information leaks to other countries,
Yeah.
and nobody fights for oil,
I know
nobody
exactly what you're
invades
saying.
us, and nobody has to go to war. So we can end war, we can end the pollution. Oh look lads, there's another chemtrail. We're really getting chemtrailed today. So this shit will only stop. It's down to us
But
to
I've
say
always
about.
said
Do
this
you agree
because
on
back
this?
when the Egyptians used to make their mythology, there was no manipulation from other countries. So what they said
people were
was
awake.
Exactly. But you
Right.
can't. You
So
can't
what
do
are we
that
doing
these
now?
days.
What is this conversation now?
You can't do that these days.
We are waking up
Because
by
I'm still
talking.
gonna go home to England and go work my fucking 60-hour
And
a
so
week
you
job
should, and so
for
you should.
shit money.
And so you should.
It's just
Until that changes, so you should. But what you can do while you're at work is tell them, your workmates. What they can do is
I
tell
would
their
love to
family.
stand up and go in uproar, but I cannot risk my
No,
family going without for that
nobody
sake.
should go in uproar. Nobody should. All we have to
That's
do
the only
is
way we're
have
going to get the truth put forward to them.
We don't need to know the truth. We just need to expose the lies. First, we
If you've
expose
got
the
a
lies.
power so big,
it's
the
called-
only way it gets brought down is by mutiny. That's a fact.
But
NASA,
mutiny.
the government.
What did Gandhi
they're
say? What did
manipulating
Gandhi
us
say? Peaceful.
Yeah, he was a pacifist, but that's a rare. You can't do that.
The point is, knowledge is power. We don't have to go and riot or anything.
Any
we just have to
decision that's
spread.
been made in historical, any time in history, is done by force. It's not done by Gandhi.
Okay,
being
well,
a pacifist.
how are we going to get an uproar then? If that's your answer, how are we going to get an uproar? We've got to spread the truth to get
I haven't
people.
got the answers. That's the
but
problem.
this is the point. If people know we're being lied to, there'll be a kind of an uproar. Whether it's peaceful or not, that we'll get there.
I'm not ignorant enough. If someone was to stand up and show us the way, I would listen and I would take note. I make a choice for myself. I'm
trying.
not stupid, and I'm taking it all on board.
I'm trying to show you.
Don't get me wrong.
that
I've
by
looked into all the science side of things. I know how bullshit everything is.
Good.
I'm very science these days, unless it can be proven by physics, by absolute solid proof.
So if you've got the solid ways to prove it, is there any harm in you telling your workmates and your kids and your kids?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. So you agree that this conversation doesn't have any harm?
Oh no.
The last point's this one. They tell us also that there's thousands of satellites in space. Yet we've never seen the weather report in real time. We're always watching Disney.
And they never know the real weather.
Right, so why have we never seen the weather in real report? And if the ozone layer, which is gas, and you just agreed with me that helium, smoke and vapour, it defies the law of gravity. So if that defies the law of gravity, why can it hold our atmosphere? And how come our atmosphere doesn't escape with the thousands of holes?
That's one thing I've never understood.
You won't understand
the
it.
shuttle coming back into the atmosphere. I don't understand how we can build something that would survive that, because apparently, according to videos, it gets engulfed in flames, it crashes to
exactly.
It would be absolutely smothered and everyone would be dead inside.
Exactly. So you know this, it's all
I'm
factual.
not a scientist and I can't prove that. I just believe what I believe.
But like I say, there's three simple experiments.
Happy face.
It's nearly done. There's three simple experiments. I'll repeat them to you. You can check the temperature of moonlight with a thermometer. You don't need a science lab, okay? You can prove that moonlight's cold.
I've done all the basic shit, yeah.
So if you can prove moonlight's cold with a thermometer, you can zoom in on a star with a normal camera and make a video and prove that it's not that far away. And then you can zoom in on things that are very far away and prove there's no curve. That's three simple experiments.
This is a legit question. Obviously, do you know when there's blistering sunlight, and I use the magnifying glass?
Yeah.
And it basically obviously makes the power of the sun much hotter.
Yeah.
Is that the aspect you're going on? So that the moon should make the sun a lot hotter?
I'm saying that the moon shouldn't be cold.
What we're doing? Flat Earth.
We're talking globe lie. We don't give a shit what shape it is. We just don't like being ripped off and told we're lost in space when there's evidence saying that stars haven't changed in 10,000 years.
What's your theory on the moon?
Cold. Chemtrails are poisonous. Look up, mate. Look up. Literally, we're getting poisoned. What's your name?
Jordan.
Nice to meet you, Jordan. My name's Howard. So all we're doing is what's your name again? Sorry, Michael. Have I got your permission? Have I got your permission to put this on Facebook? Thank you. Thank you. What was your name? Sorry.
Jordan.
Jordan. My name's Howard. I've got three simple experiments that I've made that I'm just sharing with people, so that if we realise we're being lied to, we can tell other people. They can tell other people, and eventually we don't put up with these fucking chemtrails, we don't put up with all the robbery of taxes, and we don't put up with them dumbing down us kids from 4 or 5 years old, making us believe bullshit theories instead of believing our eyes. You get me?
No, I'm with you. No, I am with you.
Well, seriously, there's world wars, there's 9/11s, yet we see before 9/11 that there's loads of examples in movies and cartoons where they blew up the Twin Towers. Simpsons, Die Hard, Sesame Street, loads of examples of the Twin Towers getting blown up years before. Years before it happened. Right, so
how did they predict that before it even happened?
They didn't predict it, they programmed us to accept it. Just like we're getting programmed to accept Luciferian bullshit as being cool, where it's really demonic, weird shit, it's materialism, okay? It's not just a coincidence that they're all doing this one-eye symbolism. Now, I don't care if the Earth's flat or a fourth dimensional shape that I can't visualise. All I know is mathematics don't lie. Mathematics...
How do they lie? Explain that.
Exactly. Come into the camera. Please come into the camera.
Just come into the camera. If you know
well, then relax.
But explain it.
So,
no one can explain it.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'll try.
Ignore him. I'm listening. Ignore him.
Mathematics say that there should be 80 metres drop over 20 miles. Well, you're looking 20 miles away now at San Juan Alicante buildings. Now, if we can see the buildings of San Juan Alicante 20 miles away from top to bottom, now some of them buildings are only 30 metres high. They're only 30 metres high, them buildings, and 40. The tallest one's about 80. Why can I see all the buildings from top to bottom if there's supposed to be 80 metres drop. There isn't 80 metres drop, is there? You can see that yourself. Please, I'll get to you in a sec. Right, now here's another point. You go to Blackpool and you can see the Isle of Man from Blackpool. You shouldn't be able to because that's 100 kilometres away. So there isn't any curve of water at any distance. Now if Earth is 70% water, how can it be a ball if it's all flat? So I don't know if it's flat, I don't care. I'm just saying it can't be a ball. They tell us it's a...
Who built it?
Can I get there in a sec, please?
Just shush a minute.
It's
Shush a
just
minute. We're talking.
silly. They tell us we're living on a pear, but they show us a ball, yet we don't see any curve at water level. We see the buildings like you've just seen them there.
Yeah.
So it's not important what it is, we have to cancel out what it isn't. It isn't a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, because if it was, we wouldn't be able to see them buildings or the Isle of Man from Blackpool, you get me?
Yeah.
Right, so that's the point. Your mate was asking what does it matter? They take $52 million a day in America, NASA. Now add that to Russia, China, India space agencies, European space agency, $100 million a day that could be helping out people in the UK and other countries a lot, okay? So it's serious. They're poisoning us with chemtrails, yeah, NASA, because guess what? The government admit in Spain that they're doing this weather modification crap with chemtrails, yet the people that are doing it for the Spanish government are NASA. There you go. NASA are doing chemtrails, saying it's weather modification, and the Spanish government are saying it for us. In 50 countries they're doing this. So all our kids are going to get poisoned and ill from all this shit.
So what are we doing?
So we're spreading ways to check for yourself. At water level, you can prove there isn't curvature. On the Red Bull skydive, you can see the horizon at eye level, yet when you go up, the horizon should go down. When he steps out, it shows curve, but it's a fisheye lens, because if that was real, there'd be water everywhere, because it's 70% water now, and we've seen that 70% water that's flat can't be a ball. And every time they show us a recording, the distances are wrong. That's close, but it's small. That's further away, but it's big. There's never any stars behind anything. So they're in a studio and it's all graphics. You get me?
I'm with you.
Good lad. And simply, moonlight chills water. You can test it with a thermometer. So if moonlight makes things cold compared to things that aren't in the moonlight, but both outside at night, that proves it can't be a reflection of the sun, because the sun's hot. So why would it make things cold? Why would we see half a moon in the west when the sun's in the east? It should be complete full moon, shouldn't it? You can check that tomorrow at about 5 p.m. So this is all observations that we can do. We don't need to be scientists or science labs. We just need to believe in our own senses instead of believing in the bullshit that they tell us. Science isn't believing, it's doing. So that's my whole point. Check the moonlight, zoom in on a star, see it's not that far, and zoom in on a building far away and see that it's not hidden behind curvature. What is your name again? Jordan. My name's Howard.
I'm Jordan. Jordan Bailey. Jordan Bailey from Retford. I believe him. Long Tash. I've come from Retford. He's told me what he's saying. I believe everything he's saying. The earth is not round. We don't believe in sounds.
And I'm going to give you my card so you can check it all out in your free time.
Jordan!
Thank you.
And if you do see well, obviously you've seen it already, please tell your mates and your family to look into it, because if we talk about it, we won't fall for the bullshit, the youngsters won't fall for it, and eventually the politicians will have to do the right thing. Or we'll... Howard. Or nice to meet you too. We don't even need politicians, because since we've had Facebook, we've been able to vote for ourselves, haven't we?
Literally.
So why don't we get rid of the politicians and save ourselves loads of money? Good lad. Nice tattoo, by the way.
Nice meet you.
You ever got your permission to put this on Facebook and YouTube?
He's got my permission.
You're a good lad.
Tag me in it. Everything he's saying, I believe in.
Thanks, mate.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And remember, we got to do this because it's happening every day.
Anyway.
Nice to meet you guys. Have a great holiday. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Respect, mate. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Benidorm Island, sadly, with Benidorm chemtrails. Hi guys.
How you doing? All right.
I'm great. My name's Howard. What's yours?
My name's Woody and this is Annette.
Hi Annette. Hi Woody. Is it okay if I get your opinion on a few things?
Yeah, carry on.
Brilliant. Well, what it is, I'm looking at conspiracies, and rather than think they're theories, I'm just saying the evidence that I've found from doing a few simple experiments and asking people's opinion on what they think if they were to do the same experiments and they got the same results. The first one is brilliant. It's my favourite. It's dead easy to get a thermometer for cooking, or for liquids, what you do before you give a baby milk or whatever, and check the temperature of liquids. So by getting 2 glasses of water that are obviously the same temperature, I'll just show the camera quickly. There you go. By getting 2 glasses of water that are the same temperature and leaving one in the shade of the moonlight and the other underneath the moonlight, after 20 minutes, I've found that the one that's under the moonlight gets 2 or 3 degrees colder. That tells me that it cannot be a reflection of the sunlight, as we're told, because if it was, surely it would give a bit of warmth, or it'd just be neutral. Do you agree?
I wouldn't know, and I really wouldn't see the relevance.
Well, what I mean is, we're told that it's a rock and that Neil Armstrong and some others have walked on it, yeah? Well, I think that Michael Jackson's the only one that can do the moonwalk, because we can't walk on the sun because it's light, so how could we walk on cold moonlight? Also, when we've seen him walking on the moon, we've never seen stars behind him. Yet when we look up at night, we see stars through all the vapour and pollution in our atmosphere, yet there's no atmosphere, so if there's no stars, maybe they just record...
The question is here then is, was land on the moon fact or not?
I think it's totally Hollywood. I think they faked it in the 60s and they never turned honest, because if you get away with murder, you're going to keep murdering, you're not going to go and admit to it, are you?
Well, there's that theory, but...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what it is...
There's a lot of money spent otherwise.
Well, this is the reason there's a lot of people looking into this, because there's actually $19 billion a year, which is $52 million a day. Now, with all the poverty and hunger in the world, you add that up with the Russian Space Agency and the Chinese, Japanese and Indian Space Agency, we're probably looking over $100 million a day. So that really is serious money.
Right, can I listen to be rude now? I think it's gone beyond what I thought we were going at.
Oh yeah.
I really don't. Yeah, fine. Do you think the moon thing's...
Oh no, it's not about what I think. I'm just trying to say to people, if we're being scammed...
Oh, we're
and
all being scammed in one way or another way.
Great.
Sure.
Yeah. So if we're all being scammed, we're all right. We live in Europe, but people around the world that are dying of hunger and stuff, that money could be invested into things to help all the people out instead of going to Hollywood, where they spend a few thousand and keep all the rest.
How many millions do we send on abroad for these things?
Say again?
How many millions do we actually send abroad?
Oh, exactly. We send rice and we send food.
No, we send millions of pounds also.
But not every day. We're talking about $100 million a day that goes to waste. Surely that could be better invested in other things to help stop all this poverty.
But it all should be invested back in the health service and back in the UK.
Oh yeah, I'm not just saying we should send it abroad. I'm saying that it could be spread out evenly and help a lot of problems in the world.
Unfortunately, that's never happened when you've got politicians involved, is it?
Which is my next point. Why do we have politicians when we've got mobile phones and platforms like Facebook where we can vote yes, no and put our own idea? Why should we have politicians when we've got the technology for the last 20 years where we can vote for things ourselves? It's because we're being dumbed down and we're insecure, because we're told that we're lost in space and from a big bang everything's material, and maybe it isn't.
I don't know so much that. I just think people are trying to get on with what they do. And
oh yeah, because we're distracted by the television, the radio, the news, but really a lot of it's crap. Where really, if we look at the facts, I've got it here, I'll show you now. The distances are wrong, there's no stars, the distances are wrong.
I know, I've seen all this many times, all this argument with the moon job.
Well, there it is, it's all online for you to check the real videos. On the moon, the Earth's small, behind the moon, the Earth's big. So that's wrong, and that's both from NASA. Neil Armstrong didn't have any stars behind him, plus you can see the horizon behind him and the horizon in front of him, so how small is the moon? It's a studio. The distances from Tesla don't match the distances from the International Space Station, so it's obviously a farce.
Right, on this note, I'm off.
Is that okay?
No, main road.
But do you mind if I put what we recorded
carry on.
online?
No, that's fine.
That's brilliant. Thanks,
Right,
guys.
cheers, mate.